Hey everyone, it's Neflarian, and today I'm going to be looking at a different type of gear and giving you the best tips for each type. I'm looking at gear that doesn't usually drop in game, gear that you have to craft or even purchase with gems, mounts, pets, and accessories. There's a ton to get into, so let's hop right in and get started. Mounts are a gear slot that's located at the bottom of your player screen. They come with a stat spread, a boost to game speed, and a bonus like Dual Strike or Empower. Their stats and bonuses and speed boost to scale up with rarity, so you'll want higher rarities. And the great part is their stats scale with you by tier, so you can craft a mount early game and bring it with you through the whole game. Mounts are crafted using mount guts in the smithy menu. You get guts from weekly event rewards, daily bounties, melting mounts, and occasionally can be found in the shop. Each rarity costs more guts to craft, with legendary costing 1,000. Once you have a mount, you upgrade them as well with guts. Each upgrade will give you more stats to add to your own, though the bonus doesn't actually get better with upgrades. Mounts are super important, but what's the most important part of a mount? That's easy, the bonus. Get a good bonus and the stat spread can be worked around. The speed stat is static and based on the rarity of the mount, so you don't have to worry about that at all. Common thoughts are that you should get and max a rare mount and then save and max a legendary mount. This skips common and epic. On my alts, I tend to get rare and then epic and then legendary just for that middle stat boost, but if you're looking to absolutely min-max, you don't need to get epic at all. You might notice that you can re-roll a mount, and mounts, they can be re-rolled if you get a bad one, so when should you actually do it and when should you cut your losses? Back in the day, you used to re-roll twice before melting and crafting a new one, but don't do that now, just don't ever re-roll them. Mount guts are not super plentiful, and through most of the game, you're not going to have very many, so you don't want to waste them. Any mount below legendary is just there to get you to legendary, and legendary mounts are there to help you get a mythic mount. To get a mythic mount, you want spectral bones, and you get those by melting your legendary mounts. And you're not going to get more spectral bones by melting a re-rolled mount or even upgraded. You get the same number for melting a +0 and a +4. So once you have a usable legendary that you've maxed out, every other legendary that you craft you're going to melt immediately so you can quickly get to a mythic. Once you have 25 spectral bones, stop crafting and melting legendaries. You don't need any more of that material and you just want to save up guts. Once you have about 13,000 guts, 25 spectral bones, and 20 fleece, you'll go in and melt the legendary that you have equipped before crafting a mythic mount of your choosing. That amount of guts will let you replace the total stats from your legendary mount right away by upgrading the mythic to +4. Mythics can then be upgraded 2 more times for even more stats. From uncrafted to max, it takes a total of 26,000 guts though, so you're in for a long road on this craft. Since you can't random roll your mount, you're going to have to choose which one you want, and because these are so expensive to get, you want to think about the end game from the beginning. So a quick rundown on some of the best options is actually in order here. The best mount is Dracus. Great stat spread for DPS or tank, and a bonus that can be used on DPS or tank. This is your first choice nearly always. Jinbu is also a usable option, but rather just for tanks, they have 10% block. If you combine this with a block build, you'll free up some runes or enchants that are in your build, and their stat spread is also pretty nice. Freegal is the third option you might look at, but only for DPS. They use Dual Strike and their stats lean really heavily into speed. Other options can work in your build and you won't go wrong with any of them, but these are the best 3 in my opinion. Moving on from mounts into purchasable gear, we have pets. Pets are your lifeline in the early game and a significant source of damage in the end game. They're on the bottom right of your character screen and provide you bonuses either per turn, when you get hit, or when you hit an enemy. These bonuses range from ways to sustain yourself and your team to ways that you can destroy the entire enemy team. Pets are a pay-to-win mechanic, but they can be obtained without spending money, just a lot slower. You purchase them in the shop for gems. Only purchase them when they're on sale and they're going to rotate on daily reset and pop in once a week or so. Waiting for sales means that your gems go further and you get more chances for a good pet for the same gems. This is a gacha mechanic, so you can't usually direct buy good pets, though it does sometimes happen. It's extremely rare for it to happen though. You can win them in weekly events as well, but I wouldn't necessarily rely on that method because depending on what tier you're in, you're going to have to spend money to win that week's event. Pets will scale with your attack stat, none of your other stats, and they get better the higher rarity you go. They come in two main categories, defensive and offensive. Regardless of if you're a DPS or a tank player, your first pet should be defensive. These pets will heal and or shield you based on a trigger. The trigger can be when you hit an enemy, when you get hit, or once per turn. Early game you have very little source of healing, so a good defensive pet here can save your runs for DPS players. One of the best options for them is Tobert, but don't fret if you don't get them, any legendary can help you, and even epics can be really useful. Offensive pets are the choice once you're later in the game and your familiar augments or gear is what's taking care of your sustain. These are going to attack your enemy based on the same triggers as before, attacking the closest, strongest, weakest, or even the whole team at the same time. The huge boon to these is that their damage is special. It's what's known as true damage. True damage bypasses defenses completely. The enemy cannot reduce it, block it, evade it, absorb it, or even give it a stern talking to. This is why multi-hit DPS is the meta in the endgame. Tanks get so much mitigation that true damage is the only way to kill them, and you want your pet to go off as much as possible. So which should you go for? Start with a defensive pet for sustain, then move to offensive pet later on. Once you're not relying on your pet for sustain anymore, you can move to offensive and get the fights done a lot faster. In my opinion, the same should be done for mythics, though there's more wiggle room here since you'll likely be later in the game when you get these. Another thing to consider is how they activate. There's three options: when you hit an enemy, when you get hit, and per turn. Which you want depends on your build and playstyle. When you hit an enemy is for DPS players, because they hit the enemy a ton and you want to get bonuses for doing so. When you get hit is generally for tanks since they get hit a ton, but they can be used by certain in-game DPS builds as well. Notice I'm not saying that when an enemy hits you. If you hit yourself, that counts. That's why recoil skills exist. The final option is per turn. That's only used on healers and support. Healers they don't count as hitting, so look at your skills and do the math. If you hit the enemy or get hit less than once per turn, you want to have your pet per turn so you always have a chance to activate it. Since you have to buy them, you might be asking how to buy them, since there's tons of options and tons of different chests. For the first purchase, save up and get the Mega Box. It's the most expensive one, but it guarantees you'll get an epic and you still have a chance at a legendary. From that point forward, buy either hyper boxes or large boxes. You have the same chance at a legendary pet per gem spent, but you get more of the materials to upgrade your pets from the smaller boxes. Don't get confused by the chance for a legendary, because it's looking at a single pull from the box. The smaller box has a smaller chance because it's pulling fewer pets, but once you've pulled the same number of pets when you're accounting per gem, the chances are the same. The only difference is the guaranteed epic from the Mega Box and more materials from the Hyper Box, but we don't want an epic. We want a legendary. I would also like to mention that with pets and accessories, avoid buying the guild versions. They have their niche uses, but they're not going to be able to melt for the materials that you would get from the shop versions, so your honor is better spent elsewhere aside from in those niche scenarios. And why do we want a legendary? Aside from them just being overtly stronger, they can also be reforged. Not every legendary can be reforged, but the vast majority can. Reforging happens once your pet is upgraded to at least +1, and that means you can freely switch between the three triggers: when you hit, when you get hit, and per turn. This way you're never going to be stuck with a pet that you rarely get to use because you're one build and it's designed for the other. This is probably the biggest power spike in pets, even beyond the % chance to activate. The ultimate goal for your pets is a mythic. To craft a mythic, you need collars from PvP and GVG and Prism Dust. You get that from melting your hard-earned legendary pets. But before you melt them, please listen to me. You get 5 Prism Dust for melting an upgraded pet and an extra 5 for every upgrade you do. In my opinion, you should only melt max upgraded pets. You'll get 25 of the material for doing so, which gives you 2.5 random rolls outright, and even more if you melt the resulting mythics. Legendary pets are not easy to get, and so you don't want to waste them. I mentioned melting mythics though. Why would you ever do that? There's 2 pets in my opinion that are melt worthy: B75 in defense and Savage in offense. Only melt them though if you will get enough materials for rolling another one. You get 6 dust and 3 collars back when you melt, so make sure to do the math accordingly. Regarding rolling or direct crafting, I roll for my first few, then direct craft afterwards. It's significantly cheaper to roll than to craft, and there's really only one option in each box that's necessarily bad. That changes when you already have some, as a duplicate pet does you no good. Accessories give you a huge spike in power. They go in the second to the bottom gear slot on the right side and give you one or more bonuses depending on which one you have. No build is complete without an accessory, and having the right or wrong one can make or break your build. They do not scale with you at all, only with rarity and via upgrades. Accessories are just like pets, so I don't want to go super in depth on how to get them. Check that part of the video that has the exact same information. They come in gacha boxes, you can win them in weekly events, and occasionally direct buy in the shop. For the gacha boxes, buy the Mega first for the guaranteed epic, and then the Hyper boxes for more materials. These do come in two main flavors, offense and defense. Offense accessories are for, you guessed it, offensive players and support players. They come with bonuses such as Dual Strike, Critical Chance, Empower, and even Quad Strike. This is one of the only places you can actually get Critical Chance, so you really want that on your accessory. It doesn't really matter which one you get though, because any of them will help you in your quest for more DPS. Defense accessories help you gain damage mitigation, they help you defend. If you're running bait or tank, you want this one. They come with bonuses such as damage reduction, evade, block, and other defensive bonuses. These are a bit trickier though, as tanks require specific stats based on their build. So while offense accessories they all work, defensive ones require the right one to get the most use, and which one is the right one is up to your build. If you check out my videos on offense and defense modifiers, you can get an overview of what you want a bit more in depth and more information on what each one will do. Short answer though is that a DPS player can use any accessory effectively. You can dual strike, critical, and empower on the same hit, so spreading out your bonuses is not only fine, it's actually encouraged. For defense though, it'll depend on your build. Since you can't block and evade at the same time, for example, you want to maximize one bonus instead of spreading them out. Look at what you're going to go for long term and go for that bonus. Also keep in mind that most late game tanks actually use offensive accessories. Very similar to pets, if you melt an accessory, you'll get 5 Molten 10 if it's unupgraded and legendary. You also get 5 more for every upgrade on that accessory, so just like pets, upgrade your legendaries all the way before melting. The cost for crafting a mythic accessory is the exact same, except it uses the accessory material and curio instead of pet materials and collars. For offensive accessories, you can't really go wrong with any of them, like random rolling is fine. I know that Shokan is a meme, but its damage output is actually better than quite a few of the other mythics, even with the added lifesteal. Once you get 1 or 2, you can look at direct crafting these so you don't get duplicates. Defensive accessories though, that's a different story. Don't random roll these unless you are absolutely reckless like I am. If you roll one that's incompatible with your build, you will be at a significant disadvantage. Tatooine is a good option if you're not sure what you want to do, because it will make maxing block easy even if your build doesn't have block. Keep in mind that most in-game tanks though use offensive accessories for critical chance and empower, but if you need mitigation, these are really great. Again though, don't random roll them. That's a ton of info on pets, accessories, and mounts. Which ones are your favorite? Did you get cursed with random rolling Savage? I'm so sorry. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.